Many thanks for staying with us. I am Justin Akadonye. We'll begin from Abuja. Now, following the recommendation from the National Judicial Council, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the compulsory retirement of Honorable Justice Afa Ademola of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court and the dismissal from office of Honorable Justice Tokode of the Benin Division of the Federal High Court. According to a statement from the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Shehu Garba, the disciplinary actions of the two justices are in pursuant of Section 292, subsection 1b of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. The statement said Justice Tokode is also to refund all salaries and allowances earned illegally from 2nd December 2015 when he was sworn in as a judge of the Federal High Court to date. The President urges judicial officers to be alive to their responsibilities and eschew corruption in the discharge of their duties. Away from that, moving on now, as Nigeria strives to achieve independence for Nigerian legislatures, a president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, has called for a compelling and complementary need for the independence of the administrative structure of the legislature. Saraki, at the 9th meeting of clerks of the Nigerian legislature, said bureaucracy has to develop in its own resource centers manned by professionals from divergent fields who would be able to provide reliable information and data as may be required by Parliament and parliamentarians.
The question is, where is the strength of the legislature? To me, I strongly believe that that strength is not in us that are elected per se, but more in you, the administrators of the legislature.
Earlier in his address, Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara also said the country cannot have an effective legislature without an informed, experienced and strong bureaucracy, adding that the turnover rate of members of the legislature in Nigeria is too high, while the same cannot be said of the bureaucracy.
Of course, you cannot have an effective legislature without an informed, experienced and strong bureaucracy. More so that the turnover rate of members of the legislature in Nigeria is too high.
Moving on now, still talking Senate matters. The majority leader of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, says the upper legislative chamber will deliberate on the possibilities of state police creation. Senator Ahmed gave the assurance while fielding questions from journalists after he observed Friday's Jamaat prayer in Abuja. He said the Senate is currently looking towards reviewing the country's security architecture and they will be open to any suggestion that will help it achieve the objective. The two-time senator from Yobe State, however, commended Vice President Yemi Oshibajo for suggesting state and community policing, saying the Senate will bring it on board. The senator also hailed President Muhammadu Buhari's appointment of the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to reconcile warring factions within the All Progressives Congress.
We should be thinking in a very positive manner that we are able to solve our problems. If we think we can't solve the problems, why do we even venture into it? I am an optimistic person, and I believe that coming together, the executive and the legislature, we can solve any problem in Nigeria.
The senator also urged Nigerians to be positive and support government's effort at surmounting the insecurity challenges in the country.
Well, I'm not a legislator as such, because I'm only one member of the legislature, but as a committee member of the Ad hoc Committee on National Security and the review of the security infrastructure in Nigeria, I believe that the suggestion by the Vice President that we should go the way of state police and even consider community policing is a very good suggestion, and we are going to take it on board.
Baker, however, commended the recent collaboration between the legislature and the executive, particularly the just concluded National Security Summit in tackling security challenges in the country. Moving on, still talking legislative matters, the investigation panel set up to review compliance of the armed forces with rules of engagement in its assignment has submitted its report. Presenting the report stood Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Friday. Chairman of the panel, Justice Ademola, George Will, said cases of human rights abuses across the country was due to the heavy presence of the military in nearly all the 36 states of the country. Justice George Will said, blamed the military, the presence of the military, on the failure of the Nigerian police to provide a requisite security of lives and property, saying more attention should be directed at the police to make it more viable. Justice George Will said the committee went around the country and investigated activities of the military and confirmed allegations of violation of human rights against the military, calling for strengthening of relevant human rights organizations in the country for effective monitoring of violations against citizens' rights.
I want to pay a very warm tribute to all my colleagues in the panel and our dedicated staff. They have worked very hard, made personal sacrifices to ensure that we achieve the mandate of this panel. We want to thank the various organizations, communities, lawyers, and individuals who made written submissions, as well as those who appeared before the panel during our public hearings.
Now, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who received the report on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, commended the panel for a work well done and assured them that the report would be fully implemented.
What the panel's findings were. But I'm also intrigued to find that most places where you visited, people still felt that they required military presence, and that they would be comfortable with military presence, which in very many ways is a good thing. And I think it shows the confidence that people have in the Nigerian military.
The committee was set up on the 11th of August 2017. Staying on the military back here in Lagos, the Nigerian Army has charged its clerks on the need to be more proficient in discharging their duties and maintaining proper office management. The Nigerian Army Chief of Administration, Major General Idris Alkali, gave the charge at the closing ceremony of a two-day training workshop on office management and document security organized for Army clerks in Lagos. Alkali, who was represented by the Director of Manpower, Major General Adamu Isiako, said the basic calling of the Army clerks is to play a vital role in the proper functioning of its officers and security of the document on their care. He charged the clerks to take what they have learned to their various units and formation and waste no time in implementing them.
To take what you have learned to your units and formations and waste no time in placing changes where necessary to make document security more efficient. I will also want you to keep the peculiar challenges that are inherent in the social media in focus.
Now, two of the participants who spoke thanked the Army Authority for putting together the workshop for capacity building.
I've learned a lot, especially on documentation, document security, security of personnel, security of equipment, and I believe it's going to impact on the performance of my duty by the time I return to my office.
And it is going to make us a better secretary, a better clerk in our various offices, because we are kind of refreshed. We are even better than how we came. So it is a very interesting one. And we thank the Army Headquarters for giving us opportunity to attend this program.
You're still watching the news coming to you from Galaxy Television. Still ahead, Education Minister inspects CBT centers ahead 2018 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Details when Galaxy News returns. Do join us again. Welcome back. Now for more updates and latest news, log on to our website, galaxytvonline.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can also follow or interact with us via our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV, or tweet at us at GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at @OfficialGalaxyTV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. Moving on and talking education. Now, the Minister of Education, Adamu, has commended the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, for its level of preparedness for the forthcoming examinations. The minister gave the commendation when he went round JAMB accredited registration centers in Abuja Friday. He said the centers are now ready and students are expected to use them without any hitch. Adamu said the centers can only be used by computer-literate students who may not need any help to use the centers for the upcoming examinations.
And I think they are all functioning very right. I'm just very happy with what I've seen.
Okay. Are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied, just as the students themselves are satisfied. My message to students is that they should come and use the facilities here, and I hope they are computer literate. If they are, they probably don't need the help of the people they'll find there. I think everything is good.
We have found out that they are doing not here, but some are doing now. That when something happens, they will tamper with the recording before we come. So when we come, the whole thing tampered with, either reversed or erased or doing something, and that's it.
The minister visited the Global Distance Learning Institute located at the Central Business District, as well as the Digital Bridge Institute, all in the Federal Capital Territory. Moving away from all of that and talking election matters now, the former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, says elections in Nigeria and the rest of Africa are largely flawed, hence the failure to produce people with capacity to deliver democratic dividends. Professor Jega made this position known in Abuja Friday at a stakeholders meeting organized by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD. Galaxy's Godfrey Ishomage reports.
The event with the theme 3 Decades of Democratic Transition in Africa, Reconciling Procedural and Substantial Democracy is a forum for stakeholders in election matters and related subjects to lend their voice on the need for entrenching stable democracy in Africa. Professor Atahiru Jega, who chaired the event, says the lack of integrity of elections in Nigeria and Africa as a whole may be responsible for growing tendencies that seem to undermine democratic principles.
Elections have become regular and routinized, but what is the quality of those elections in terms of bringing people who are representative of the people and who deliver on the aspirations and the expectations of the people? So obviously there is a fundamental question there with regards to whether electoral democracy is just a routine thing or whether indeed it can deliver in terms of the needs and the aspirations of the people. And for me, I think the key question there is the integrity of elections.
Professor Jega says the failure of democracy to meet the yearnings of electorates casts a serious doubt on whether it is the right option for the continent, noting also growing frustration that stems from lack of quality governance. He laments that stability and development have therefore remained elusive as a result.
The major challenge of how democracy, instead of providing stability and development, is creating instability and crisis, and how also governance that is a product of this democratic transition is failing to satisfy the fundamental needs and aspirations of the people.
Cross-section of resource persons present at the event gave their candid opinions on the general state of Nigeria's democracy.
This democracy, is it just a state of being? And the obvious response to that is no, because democracy can deepen, it can develop, it can deteriorate, and it can go on regression. And the central issue about democracy in Africa today is that there is a huge regression of democracy.
I think for us, we are practicing a hybrid system where we strive to be a democracy, but when it is necessary, we also become authoritarian. Because when you look at the level of press freedom, for instance, in the last 2 years, it has not been commendable. Really. When you also look at the recent report looking at social media monitoring and requests from Google, Facebook on accounts of citizens, you find that Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt topped the list. So there are pointers to show. In fact, there are not. It's like a fact for us to see that we are a hybrid system. We strive to be democratic when it suits us, and when it doesn't suit us, we toe the path of autocracy.
Still on election matters, meanwhile, 240,000 voters are yet to collect their permanent voter cards since April last year, while over 6,000 have either collected or renewed theirs this year. The head of INEC, Department of Voter Education and Publicity in Kwara State, Jacob Ayonda, stated this in an interview with newsmen. While monitoring the voter registration exercise at Baker in the Ilorin South local government area, he noted that INEC registers between 70 and 80 people daily and has registered 6,000 this year. He, however, admitted that unclaimed voter cards of the 239,000 are still lying in the office.
Well, by and large, the turnout has been impressive. In some local governments, they register 80, 100, 50, and just like that. And to the extent that so far, in the commencement of the exercise, between January and February 2nd, we have registered over 6,000.
The electoral officer of Ilorin South local government also lamented that the local government alone accounts for 39,000 of the unclaimed cards, blaming it on the students of higher institution who refused to turn up for collection.
So far so good. The turnout is very high because at least in a day sometimes we register 80, 70 like that. So at least it's impressive. It's April. We have 39,000 unclaimed cards. As I'm speaking to you now, I think less than 1,000 were collected.
And straight now to Ikeda State. In other news, the battle for the seat of power in Ikeda State is getting hotter as another popular politician has joined the governorship race. Okpemi Bamidele made a public declaration at his Inyin ward where he handed over his manifesto of brighter future for Ikiti to the executives of the ward. Speaking at the ceremony, the aspirant pointed out that the manifesto consists of programs that would solve the major problems facing the state. He noted that he is the best for the job because no governor in the history of Ikiti had ever got the experience before election.
One of the aspirants has a right to contest. There are even rumors as to others who will still join the governorship race. It is their right to contest. What is important is that by the grace of God, every aspirant will be given a free and fair platform to run a decent race. And the leadership of the party will ensure free and fair primaries so that a popular candidate would have emerged.
Still talking party politics, Edo State is up next, where the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has accused the state government of diverting millions of naira budgeted to equip the newly completed accident and emergency wing of the General Hospital in the state to fund the public-private partnership university in Iyamo. The state chairman of the party, Dan Obi, made the allegations while receiving some defectors from the ruling party, APC, in Igwebe local government area of the state. Led by the APC former deputy women's leader Tina Agbara and Igweben local government party secretariat, Dan Obi disclosed that the reason government hospitals are poorly funded is because the public patrimony has been diverted to private use by the state government.
Specialist hospital in Benin City is not functioning. Is that the former governor and this present governor, Governor Obaseki, diverted the money for the specialist hospital to build the specialist hospital at Iyamo University.
However, in her remarks, Tina Agbarada, the affected APC women leader, said she was happy and better having returned home.
President has no capacity of being a little chairman of the Igwebe local government. I have capacity to produce Adamo Shomoli. I have capacity to produce Governor Basaki.
Reacting to the allegations in a press statement, the SA media to the Edo State Governor Crusoe Sage debunked the claim, saying the institution was built by the past administration in Iyamo, Edo North, and is not jointly owned by the former governor Adams Oshomole and his successor Godwin Obaseki.